Things are difficult right now. Whether it's access to healthcare, affordable housing, green and walkable spaces, or easily accessible places for groceries, many communities are struggling. For Winnipeg's Elmwood area, Chalmers Neighbourhood Renewal Corporation is working to support in whatever way they can. However, one organization can't do everything, and it's going to take concerted efforts from everyone to make a difference. Let's get into it.
I'm Lalani Esteban Balerba, and I'm the Executive Director of the Chalmers Neighbourhood Renewal Corporation.
I am Charity Strange, and I am the Executive Assistant here at CNRC.
And I'm Amy. I am the Community Connector as well as the Energy Efficiency Advocate here at CNRC.
Amy, you're really new to the position. It's been like a couple months since we last talked with Brittany for the Green Toba project. So, Amy, tell me a little bit about what you do and how you're enjoying it so far.
So far, it's been very, very good. I actually have a degree in human rights with a minor in women and gender studies. So I've been trying to kind of get the right fit for nonprofit, and CNRC has been a perfect fit. I've been loving it here for about 4 weeks, I think, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, somewhere in there.
Almost exactly. Yeah.
Almost, yeah. Almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
So very fresh into the role.
Oh, yeah. Extremely.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I mean, it can always be hard once you go to school for something and trying to be like, okay, how am I going to get to this to fit into a career?
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Well, for our audience, what is Chalmers Neighbourhood Renewal?
The Chalmers Neighbourhood Renewal is an organization that was designated by, at that time, a Neighborhoods Alive funding body. And Neighborhoods Alive looked into the communities that were most at risk and most vulnerable, and then created designations. And we became one of those designations about 10 years ago. And yeah, so we're one of the newer renewal corporations, and we've been going strong and growing exponentially over the past few years. And what we do is we look at creating safer communities, more active transportation, beautifying the community, finding out what the prevalent needs are from the community, and then working on addressing those needs.
You're out of the community center, but separate from it, correct? Or how does that work? Because I remember last time I kept getting the name set up. So the Chalmers Neighbourhood Renewal Corporation is its own entity outside of the community center.
We are housed in the Elmwood EK Active Living Center. Okay. And we are partners and umbrella the seniors organization. And that was a new kind of collaboration in terms of like how our partnership started working together. So over the last 3 years, we did a collective impact proposal so that we could bring 3 organizations together and under the umbrella of the Neighbourhood Renewal Corporation. So even though we're housed at the Elmwood EK Active Living Center, 180 Poplar is Chalmers Neighbourhood Renewal Corporation.
Okay. And I think that's an important thing to be like, okay, we're hearing these different names out there. It's like, okay, what is what?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
Renewal, you're doing that through several different avenues. What are some of the programs and initiatives that you have? And I know, we can go into the role that Amy has, but let's go through all the different aspects of what the Neighborhood Renewal Corporation does, sort of thing.
Oh my, that.
Or let's do a light topping. Let's not go too deep into the roots of it, but what are some of your basic things that you're covering? I know you mentioned several different items beforehand.
Prevalently speaking, when we're talking about prevalent needs, we are talking about food security, we're talking about housing, we're talking about neighborhood revitalization and safety concerns, and we're talking about climate. So in terms of energy efficiency, we're trying to reduce greenhouse gases through the energy efficiency program. We've got better access to groceries, which address our food security issues. We've got housing programs which address low income and people who are about to be evicted from their homes. We prevent evictions. And we also have programs that address emergency food hampers, emergency washing and drying, laundry services, groceries. We do basically whatever comes in and somebody asks us. Absolutely. Yeah, whatever it is, we either create the resource or send them to partners who offer that resource. So we are at the bridge or not the solution, but a support.
A support. So it's because I mean, everyone, Manitobans, Canadians in general, are really feeling the burn when it either comes to like housing, food prices are ridiculous. And I mean, when we're looking at the grocery stores, Walmart wants us to now pay extra to go through the self-checkout. Like, it feels like things are really, really difficult right now.
That's when I really make my appearance. Tell me about it. You see, this is one of the things that when we are looking at how the economy is impacting the low income community that we serve, like take, for example, our Better Access to Groceries program. Over the years, we have supplied our community with a way to get fresh fruits and vegetables at their convenience. So we're meeting the needs where our community is at, because our community is a food desert. There are no local groceries within walking distance. And the one that we have right now has shut down. There's nowhere else to buy groceries within walking distance. And if you are mobility challenged and you can't take a bus, you can't walk, then you're SOL. Sorry, I swear, but.
That's the frustrating part. I mean, it is fantastic, the work that you all are doing out in the community. But the frustrating thing is you see a lot of these communities that are being left behind, that they continue to see lack of funding. Development isn't being thought of in terms of like green spaces, walkability, just increasing efficiency overall. And I mean, you're trying to address those, but I mean, as just one corporation, it can be hard to address a massive systemic challenge.
Oh, that's exactly it, right? Like, so in terms of like the groceries, like I was saying, it's where we noticed it most was when we were trying to continue to offer the same amount of fruits and vegetables to the community. The price of that produce was growing exponentially to the point where it was almost like $1,000 more on top of what we normally paid to offer like 300 plus people better access to groceries bag, which contains like at least $25 worth of fruit and vegetables. And they would pay $10 for it. We're offering low cost fruit and produce, but we're still taking the brunt of the cost, right? Including like we don't charge administration. Like our costs are not filtered down to the people who are needing these services and these products. Exactly. So, but the whole thing is, right? Like, so we're offering these low cost fruits and vegetables, but it's weighing on us as a nonprofit charitable organization because there are no increases in nonprofit funding or charitable funding. They're not doing anything about that in terms of systemic change.
It feels like so many areas, and like, I mean, as Manitobans, we're noticing it really, or here in those avenues, but like it's Canadians and the world overall. Like healthcare is another area that we're constantly struggling with, that we're seeing those holes in it. Maybe Charity, you can talk a little bit on with the role of the Neighbourhood Renewal Corporation. What is the hope looking ahead? What sort of programs or initiatives you have to help offset this? And I guess we can go from there.
Well, so we just completed our 5-year action plan. So we do one every 5 years. And that was so interesting to get the feedback from the community of, because that's how we base all of our programs, right? Is what do you need? What do you see a need for? And so one of the programs when we're talking about livability is like home buyers, right? So who can afford to buy a home these days? So we have a home buyers assistance program where people can apply for they can receive up to $27,500 for a down payment. And as long as you live in the Chalmers neighborhood and live there for 10 years, then it's a forgivable loan. So 5 years only, giving people the chance to have a home. And so yeah, as that's one of our programs that came to mind when we were talking about that. But as we are looking at implementing or continuing the implementation of our programs, we're going to highlight monthly throughout the next year programs that we already have or programs that we will be implementing. One of the things that we do is events, and we want to address equality all around. We have our first ever Pride Week event coming up in May, which is very exciting. So a lot of the things that we see when it comes to events is that people may not have admission fees to pay, a car to get to where they're going, where they would be able to access these large events. So to bring events local to our community and representation for everybody. So we're going to have the Pride event end of May. So we have different things happening every day of the week. And then we have our large Happy Days on Henderson, which is for families, well, for everybody really, but we have a lot of kids activities. And then we have a night market again. So if someone wants to go to the Assiniboine Downs, it's hard to get there and pay, and it's very costly. So to bring the event to them where they can come, whether they don't have to purchase anything, but they can get the free entertainment and get the experience. So that's part of revitalizing the neighborhood, right? Is bringing the events and the entertainment and the community connecting, which is really huge. People like to feel connected to the community, to their neighbors, to each other.
It's so difficult when you're like, oh, I'd love to go to an event, but you see the cost of it. What was it? There's a tequila event coming up soon here in Winnipeg, and it's like $90 for entry. And it's like, okay, well, I guess I won't be going to that. But even like small things like $25 for a ticket to go to an event of some kinds, like it adds up, especially if you're a family and you're trying to make ends meet. Trying to find different events or things that are affordable and accessible is incredibly difficult. And without them, we continue to be pulled apart, and it feels like things continue to decrease. And
also in terms of like healthcare and what we do to respond to the healthcare, we have programs like our seniors programming, which allows our seniors to come in and get the help they need. Like when the Canada Dental Benefit Plan came out, there's a lot of questions around how do we apply? How do we get there? How do we access this and whatnot? We had Jagmeet Singh in here telling everybody, how to do it. And then also all of our staff are informed on and they're knowledgeable about how to do those applications. If anyone comes in, we can help our seniors in our community get the benefits, the programs, and the services they need just by coming in and asking those questions. So we're here to help them navigate those systems, as well as provide them a safe, comfortable space where they don't have to be isolated at home. And there are no barriers such as costs. Our meals and our low-cost healthy meals provide a healthcare service because they can buy affordable meals and they're healthy and they're available all week long. So there are things like that happen here. And then we have our early years program, which provides a venue for young mothers, caregivers of age or demographic, whatever. You could be a single dad, a dad, an uncle, an aunt, whatever, daycare. You can provide your early years children 0 to 5 a free place to come in and at no cost, and it's in the community. So those are the kind of healthcare things that we do here.
I really like that you have a diversified focus on helping out the community. When we're looking at the challenges that we face, it's not just one thing causing all of it. It's multitude of aspects that are piling up. And the only way to solve these issues is to look at the root causes of it. And a lot of people are afraid in Winnipeg at times because of, they hear about crime rates or violence. So they're like, oh no. And it's like, well, how do we address those? Putting more cops on the street, putting more people in prison isn't going to address any of the issues. It's a lot of people dealing with addiction, or they don't have a place to live, and feel like these conversations are more important than ever to be like, how do we solve these systemic challenges if we just keep putting Band-Aids as solutions?
Creating a place where everyone feels safe and comfortable and not judged is ultimately the solution to make a community better. If you can get anyone to come in and trust that they'll be taken care of and not judged, then word will spread. And then the community grows closer and they learn more about each. And there isn't as much judgment because, we're here to help people, right? And we're not here to judge you or put you in a box and say, this is where you have to go and what you have to do. This is why this center is such a gem in this community, really. I'm so very proud to be part of this organization and all the things that happen here. This team makes it happen.
Looking at all these different aspects, you have the food program, the laundry program. And there's that sustainability issue. A lot of older houses, they are not very efficient. And a lot of people can see, the costs in their wallets, especially during the height of summer or winter. Amy, I know you're really new to the role as an efficiency advocate. I think that's the correct title, right? Okay, perfect. What sort of things are you seeing within the community, and how can we continue to increase awareness around efficiency, and what sort of things should we be doing?
I do notice that there are a lot of problems as far as barriers go. One thing that I've been looking into recently is with Efficiency Manitoba, everybody within the Chalmers neighborhood is able to get a free house assessment, and they can possibly be able to get free insulation blown into their house. So that'll help with bringing down energy costs, things like that. But it's an offer that sounds almost too good to be true. So there are people on Facebook who are like, oh, this seems like a scam. I don't know if that's should I trust these people? That kind of thing. So right now I'm kind of trying to think of a way to connect with the community and be like, no, it's not a scam. This is something that you could apply for and possibly, will help bring down the cost of cooling your home, that thing.
It's tough. And a lot of people can feel skeptical about some of those things. You're like, yeah, what sort of scam or thing is this? And I guess, we've had these conversations before about the importance of putting a face to the programs.
So that's a big one. And then also too, there's a new program as well with involving windows and doors where you can get a $100 rebate for each window and door, as long as it's a certified, and I think it's Energy Star. Yep. Yeah, Energy Star certified. And then I actually had a community member come up to me and be like, is this an actual thing? Is this something that I can do? I'm like, of course. That's another example of sometimes things seem a little bit too good to be true, but at least they can come and talk to somebody here at the center and see a face that they kind of recognize. I'm still new, but over time they'll get to know me and they'll be able to talk to me about these kinds of issues.
And you know what? It's better than just having a massive FAQ on a website somewhere, which can still be confusing. If they don't have a computer or a phone or something like that, you can't really look that up. This way, there's someone to talk to, someone they can trust in their community to help them out and, provide those details and links to a variety of different things.
Absolutely. Yeah. Have you seen their shirts, Ryan? Their shirts literally say, trust us.
They got that from us because we said, no one trusts you.
Yeah.
So what's coming up? What sort of new programs or initiatives are on the table? I know we're heading summer soon, so there's probably something new on the way.
Oh, yeah. We have Pride Week coming up, right? So because we have Pride Week coming up, some of the people from the community said, we need an Elmwood nightlife. For the first time ever in the history of Elmwood, we are putting in an Elmwood beer garden. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't drink. It will be like a $5 cover charge, or is there a cover charge at all?
I don't know.
I don't even think we have a cover charge. I think it'll just be free to the community, but it'll be from 5 to 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
So we're still planning it, but we've got a business involved and we've got One of the big things that we are doing is called Reimagine Elmwood. If you've heard of Reimagine Elmwood, it's about like creating a safer Henderson Highway, a safer community. And what it does is it implements like urban tacticalism, right? So we do urban planning and we create a safer environment through environmental design. This summer or this spring, well, actually last spring, or was it tail end of summer?
It was fall.
Yeah, it was fall. We finally got these huge marbles, 8 marbles, 4 big ones and then 4 smaller ones. And we had community partners paint them, design and put designs on them. And then we placed them along Henderson Highway. So that was to slow down traffic. It's called edge friction. So when people see something different, they kind of slow down, take it in a little bit, and then it lowers the speed limits on Henderson, which is ideally what we want.
Yeah, it's taking those times to make communities livable again, making housing more affordable, places look nicer, as well as just being walkable. I know how many times I'm walking downtown and I'm like, man, I wish there was like more trees, more green spaces, more spots that I'm not just like right next to the roads.
And we have trees. We applied for a grant called Homegrown, and we have trees coming.
That's
And
so
there-
exciting.
I know.
Yes.
There are going to be 30 trees. We brought the attention to the community, and 30 new trees are going to be planted this spring, summer.
Whenever I walk around, I see all these just empty spots and I'm like, well, you know, we could build trees here, or like there's so many empty parking lots that are just empty 90% of the time. It's like, could the space be
Right.
utilized in a more efficient way? Whether that's like a community garden, local orchards. I know we don't really have fruit trees around cities, I mean, in years, but I mean, you know, there's so many cool out of the box things that could be done that could improve the quality of life for everyone in these communities.
Well, speaking of empty parking lots, we have been working with Suncor, which abandoned gas station on 243 Henderson there, on Henderson and Johnson. And over the last 25 years plus, we've been trying to work with them to give it back to the community. And this year we've got it. And we could act. I know, that's where our beer garden is going to be. So what we've done is we've taken over the corner. They've let us use it as a community corner. And so we're allowing other organizations and other businesses to book it days at a time to do whatever they want on it. One week, we're going to be doing the Pride Week and some other stuff. Another week, like everyone's just so excited about it. There's fresh asphalt, there's benches, it's so exciting. We've got so many exciting things happening here, Ryan. It's like,
That's absolutely amazing. And we need to see those changes and developments in cities, because the way things are progressing, it's just not sustainable and it's just getting worse and it's more frustrating. And I think all of you can probably feel frustrated with, you know, the things that you're seeing. Like, it's amazing that you're there to help people in their needs. You know, the goal is to not have these organizations, right? To have a system where people can thrive without additional supports.
right. And it's trying to get everybody there and getting the community to see what's possible, putting their voices together. And this is what we do here, is bring the voices together so that we can see what needs to be done.
There's so many more conversations we could have in the future. But for now, where can people go to find out more about the Chalmers Neighbourhood Renewal Corporation?
So we have a website, chalmersrenewal.org, or we have at Chalmers Renewal on Instagram and on Facebook. And then there we'll be posting about upcoming events and programs, and you can find everything there.
Have any stories you'd like us to share, or communities we should highlight? Leave a comment on our social media or reach out to us on our website. I'm Ryan Funk. This was You Talk, and have yourself a good one.